Thanks for checking out the Fox 54 Weekend Review. I'm Kenesha Dees. We have a full 7 days worth of stories ahead for you in the next half hour. Here's what's coming up. Swept aside, one item on the city of Huntsville's budget approval list caused a bit of back and forth. We'll see if there was any compromise found. And there's space for all at Space Camp, even those with disabilities. You'll learn how campers with vision difficulties can still enjoy their trip and get the whole experience. And fall is in full swing, and for some that could mean seasonal sickness. But how can you tell if it may be the flu, a cold, or even COVID? We'll ask the experts. But what's rather unseasonal for us in North Alabama is a continued dry spell that has led to a fire danger alert from the State Forestry Commission and the suspension of burn licenses. All right, it's been 14 days since the Alabama Forestry Commission issued a statewide fire alert. The Morgan County Sheriff's Office says tomorrow outdoor burning permits will stop being issued until further notice. Those who burn without a permit could face misdemeanor charges.
So we have a drought index that we look at that monitors things like drought conditions, wind, humidity, those kind of things. And right now those factors are off the chart.
The weather in the South can sometimes be different than the rest of the U.S.
Well, this is something we've kind of been noticing starting in the southwest corner of the state, and it's been slowly inching north all summer. It's very reminiscent to 2016, in which we had a terrible fall fire season.
Drought conditions like the one the state's experiencing can be a magnet for fires.
Right now, not only are our fuels dry, we're seeing some very dry soil moisture readings, and that just compounds on everything to make further drying out of vegetation happen quicker.
The Alabama Forestry Commission has issued a fire alert for Alabama. Local agencies like Decatur Fire and Rescue are helping to spread the word.
It's just not a good time to burn, which Morgan County actually falls under the ADM burn ban for the summer anyways, which runs from May 1st until October 31st. And so what that encompasses is any burning of rubbish, wood, things like that.
Which means that some burn permits are not being issued.
It basically limits who we give permits to do outdoor burning in Alabama. So right now our permits are limited to those people who are certified burners.
And those who choose to use flammables outside should be cautious.
Just be aware of your environment, be aware if you're using any type of fire-related products, lighters, even just a casual outdoor fireplace or maybe a camping type fire. Right now you've got to use extreme caution. Make sure you've got a way to hopefully safely extinguish that fire.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
Medical cannabis became legal in Alabama in 2021 after an act was signed into law by Governor Kay Ivey. This then allowed the creation of the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission, who began accepting medical marijuana licensing applications last year. Now, even though some companies were recently selected for licenses by the commission, they're facing a legal battle that's in turn delaying any disbursement of medical cannabis in the state. Our Sedona Meadows learns where everything stands right now.
When Alabama's Medical Cannabis Act was signed into law in May of 2021 and the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission, or AMCC, got to work in October of 2021, many didn't foresee that 2 years later, we'd still be on hold with getting medical cannabis distributed within the state.
We definitely leave it to Alabama. We always like to do things a lot differently down here.
Shay Garrigan, the founding director of the nonprofit Alabama Cannabis Industry Association, consults with individuals seeking medical marijuana licenses and supports the AMCC while bringing any questions or concerns to them about the process. She shares a stay was placed on recently approved licenses.
We can't move forward with a patient registry list or certifying, licensing doctors to certify patients or for seed to sale. So it's affected both parties. So the people that have received a license along with the commission.
This hold is due to the current lawsuits against the commission that claim there were violations throughout the application process, like an alleged violation of the Open Meetings Act.
We don't know what was said behind closed doors and if there was ever anything, but that's what the lawsuit's about.
Or claim that there were file size issues and limitations when filling out the application. Garrigan says she worked with applicants who had this issue and reached out to the commission with questions hours before the application deadline.
We sent a message over to the commission immediately, probably within about a minute. They responded with, "This is how to handle this."
As she's been observing this case in the courtroom, Garrigan says the term workaround has been used in reference to the applicants who got their questions answered about uploading files. But not everyone got this information if they had the issue.
If they didn't contact the commission and let the commission know that they were having issues, the commission had no way to give them a quote workaround in order to get their file docs to be submitted.
Garrigan hopes the state will soon be able to continue with the process to make medical cannabis accessible.
What we need to do right now is just get started, just hit the ground running, and it doesn't, we'll be able to fix the problems as they come up. And, adjust the program to the way that it needs to be adjusted. But for right now, we can't do anything when we don't know anything.
AMCC has their next meeting scheduled for October 12th. Here at the Shop Cannabar and Mercantile in Huntsville, you'll see all sorts of hemp-derived products. But underneath this collection is a business owner's passion to help reduce people's pain.
My dad got sick, and going through the process with trying to help find him products while he was going through chemotherapy. I wanted my father to be able to function at the end of his life and be comfortable. And everybody deserves that.
Matt Batson, who owns the shop, has made it his mission to find quality hemp products.
So we try to cover all of the cannabinoid bases. If you are looking for something for sleep or pain or depression or anxiety, we have a little something for everyone.
This comes at a time when medical cannabis remains on hold in Alabama due to the ongoing legal fight over medical marijuana licenses in the state. So Batson wants people who are waiting for medical cannabis to know there are legal products available now.
There are hemp-derived products that will help you with everything that the medical marijuana will help you with.
These products are legal to sell because of the 2018 Farm Bill, which removed hemp from the definition of marijuana in the Controlled Substances Act. But the hemp can't contain more than 0.3% THC.
I want more awareness that the industry has changed. It's not what it used to be. The products have changed. I think the outlook that America has on the products is changing.
Batson says if you are considering trying these products, to ask questions and find the best option for you.
You should be able to go into a store and tell them you have anxiety or depression or pain or what your condition is, and they should be able to quickly figure out what you need and help you go from there. But they're available now.
In Huntsville, Sedona Meadows, Fox 54 News.
Career Academies of Decatur is giving students a head start, all while teaching life skills along the way. Today, some local small businesses in the community got to see what their future employees are learning firsthand. Our Jasmine Bird takes us to the tour.
Career Academies of Decatur is making a great impact in the lives of many students right here. And today, some of those students are telling us just how.
I feel as if the class itself has taught me to be more patient, for sure.
Austin High School senior Connie Valdez is in the machining program at the Career Academy, also referred to by the students as CAD.
It's definitely shown me that there's more than what meets the eye, I guess you can say. And it's really nice knowing that if you know somebody, for example, Mr. Gatlin, he has a lot of connections and he's more than willing to, help you and put your future before his and, make sure that you succeed in life.
Local small business owners in the community also toured various CAD departments from health sciences to sports medicine to welding and more to experience just what their possible future employees are learning.
My biggest inspiration was seeing my parents being able to cook and provide for us when we were younger. So I think it's been my greatest inspiration to try and mimic that.
Aiden Valdez is a junior in the culinary program at CAD. Valdez also can't say enough about his mentors.
Really had good mentors like Chef D, be able to teach us the foundational skills to be able to cook and learn how to use proper etiquette with knives and everything to be able to be safe, I guess.
The sister and brother duo are both grateful for CAD, and they say,
I really enjoy how, we have Mr. Gatlin and he's very, patient with us.
I'm really thankful to have this program and thankful for all our educators.
Indicator, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Excitement for this veteran. Kay Ivey also gave her keynote address at Decatur Morgan County Chamber of Commerce's legislative update today. During Governor Ivey's address, she mentioned how she's impressed with how effective the Decatur Morgan County Chamber is connecting with education and the economy, also their work to support the community.
The game plan that we passed last session is a great example of what we can accomplish when we work together. Help pave the way for Nucor's $125 million expansion that will create 200 new jobs.
And ULA's millions of dollar expansion is expected to bring in 250 new jobs for the area. Well, Greyhound is on the road again in the Rocket City. Huntsville's Greyhound is running transportation services to Nashville and Birmingham. The new station is located to the Texaco on South Parkway near Hobbs Road and will feature 4 scheduled rides per day.
I'll change my vote to a no.
One item at last week's council meeting was hard to sweep under the rug.
And the compromise on the table, as I understand it, this is not a motion, is that instead of 5, you would get 3. And that is the most important. The number, the dollar amount means nothing.
The motion to add more street sweepers brought a lively debate among council members. It was proposed to purchase 2 street sweepers and 2 for every 3 successive years. In our discussion before the work session, Councilman Kling was hoping to add more.
The thing that I was involved in is a proposal that I've been trying to work on to get included in the budget. 10 street sweepers with 2 for each of the 5 districts so that all the city and all the citizens would benefit equally. I thought that would be a good program. I seem to come into resistance about, well, we're going to be doing 1 or 2 a year for a couple of years to get it underway.
While not agreeing on the number asked, council looked to compromise.
To split what was originally $2 million, I guess it's 2.5 now, but $1 million one year, $1 million the next, and buy at least 3 machines and work towards the goal of having the coverage he's wanting.
John Hamilton, manager of the fund, would agree, citing the compromise leaves room to take care of other priorities.
What I'm suggesting is, yes, at that $1 million level, then the other needs and the other priorities, I think we can also hit what we need to and not let any particular area atrophy. And that's what we have to be careful of, is if we invest too much in one particular functional area within the capital plan at the expense of others, those others begin to atrophy.
But after much discussion, neither the proposed or the amendment to the proposal passed. But Hamilton says the need will still be addressed.
It is our intent very early in the fiscal year with the approval of this budget to place on order 3 additional street sweepers, whether y'all pass this amendment or not. We are going to make prudent budgeting decisions relative to the needs of all of the various departments of the city, and in this particular case, that includes a minimum of 3 street sweepers.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
Well, Alabama A&M University is celebrating homecoming this weekend, and what better way to kick things off right before the big game than a parade?
I'm just a TT to all the kids, so I love doing stuff like this. My nieces and them out here performing.
I'm so excited I got up and came out this morning early. It's changed a whole lot since I was here.
Speaking of how times have changed.
When I came here, you couldn't wear shorts.
Judy Edmond was here from 1964 until 1968.
I graduated. I came back in 2002, get my master's, and I'm the class of 1968, and this is our 55th year, reunion year.
Deborah Fluellen agrees that this is where it all began.
This is where I learned my craft, and this is where I got my foundation in terms of helping me to want to be an educator, to go out and help people the way that I was helped here.
Fluellen and her 8 siblings all attended Alabama A&M also.
We lost our mother 4 years ago. She was 94 years old, and one of her goals was to make sure that we all went to school, got a degree, and to make something of ourselves. And so with all 9 of us having attended, we made this like our family reunion. And so Mom, this was one of her favorite things. She loved coming to homecoming week.
Alabama A&M English and Foreign Languages Chair and two-time alumna Dr. Charlotte Teague says all in all, the spirit is just different this year.
This is about students. It's about spirit. It's about alumni. Are you ready? And I'm just proud of the shift that has happened with the spirit and with the parade.
And most importantly,
it's HBCU power, you know.
Go Bulldogs! Yay! Class of 1978!
Let's go Bulldogs! Hey!
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Get Fox 54 Plus for Roku and Fire TV. Watch local newscasts live or on your schedule. Plus exclusive specials like Weekend Review, a recap of the week's top stories. Fox 54 Plus, live, local, and always on.
Let's go, baby! Should be electric today. The crowd, the atmosphere, this is what makes it special. The student body are out of their mind. You want a piece of us? This is what we do. Here we go. Touchdown. Wow. Sensational. Big noon kickoff, Saturdays on Fox.
Our Little Flock Rescue is run out of Michelle Weiss's home.
We just kind of went down the path of having pet birds, and then people kept reaching out and saying, oh, I know you have a bird, and I need to rehome my bird.
Throughout her experience rescuing birds, she's connected with other rescues, like My Flying Fids that's run by Michelle Remerisma in Georgia. Something they see a lot is
people misunderstand what they're getting into, and that's how we end up with all of these birds.
In August, Vice was alerted of a bird for sale at the Madison Petco located off of Highway 72 West.
Someone asking me, hey, would you kind of go and check on this bird? I really feel like they're sick, something's going on. As soon as I laid eyes on this bird, I knew instantly there was something off.
Employees at the store told her that they would be taking the bird to the vet, although it wouldn't be an avian vet. She came back a couple of days later.
They told me that the bird received a clean bill of health, that there was absolutely nothing wrong with this bird. At the time of that encounter with one of the managers, I was told that I'm just tired of people coming in here and asking about this bird.
She got so much pushback from everybody she talked to. And I mean, really, she was just trying to help.
With help from her social media followers, on the morning of August 15th, she bought the bird from the store, temporarily naming her Little Buddy, and took her to an avian vet for further testing.
She came back home to me around 5 p.m. And then about 24 hours later, she was gone.
Vice says she felt it was important to get a necropsy done.
That showed us that she was a chronically underweight bird. She had a small amount of metal in her system.
Both Vice and Remerisma believe Little Buddy was not being properly cared for by Petco.
It's not just one bird. We hear stories like this all the time from people who bought a bird from a big box pet store and have gotten it home and it's either passed away or it's been so sick.
Vice says she reached out to Petco after Little Buddy's death and they said she would be refunded and that they would conduct an investigation. In a statement to Fox 54, Petco reiterated the bird was examined by a veterinarian who reported no abnormal findings, adding they have high standards for animal care that are certified by American Humane. Vice and Remerisma say they know places like Petco won't stop selling birds, but they want to see a change in how the employees care for them.
Their diet. It's not just bag food that you buy at the store, it's fresh veggies and fruits as well. Helping to educate their employees a little bit better on knowing the signs that they should be looking for with these birds and other exotics.
Or even hiring like a bird-specific employee.
They both say they are determined to continue advocating for birds and bird care education.
Over in Colbert County, the animal shelter is dealing with the unthinkable. It's a case involving animal cruelty. Our reporter Ken McCoy had a chance to speak with the shelter and has the story.
Those who work here at the Colbert Animal Shelter have had a very difficult couple of weeks. And when I asked Mr. Spiegel during our interview, what were some of the emotions the people here are feeling? The word that stood out to me was anger.
Anger. A lot of anger right now.
disappointment.
Come in. Okay.
We're supposed to be a modern society, okay? How do we get to a point where we let this happen?
Those words sum up the emotions of a weeks-long investigation into an unthinkable case of animal cruelty by a woman who had a history with abuse.
She was convicted, I think, 2014, 2015 of the same thing. They removed 120 dogs off her property. Looks like she got back at it again. She's at it again.
But this case seems far worse.
We've executed 2 search warrants that I've got. Seized a total on both search warrants of 35 horses, 46 dogs and puppies. I have found 28 skeletal remains and corpses of dead horses on the property, and then 2 dead dogs.
I asked Spiegel what were the living conditions upon discovery. Although too gruesome to repeat, he would again sum it up.
Very disgusting.
The shelter is now looking to care for these animals.
We'll reach out to reputable animal rescues to come in and help us with the animals, get them to safety, get medical care, immediate medical care.
And with the magnitude of this case, the shelter itself needs assistance.
We're going through a lot of copy paper, and a lot of ink and toner. We now have 35 equine that's going to be in our care, and I'm going to have a hefty vet bill taking care of these animals.
Before we wrapped, I asked was there anything else he wanted to share.
We need to be responsible and be caretakers of these animals. They depend on us. We're failing these animals, people. And we can do better than this, okay? We all need to come together and do better than this.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
Now, Fox 54 Top Teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
For one teacher in Decatur, art is where her heart is, and it shows. Just look at some of the work of her students. Meet this week's Fox 54 top teacher from Decatur Middle School, Tawana Johnson. For art teacher Tawana Johnson.
I mean, I've always been a good artist. All types of art, I just always liked art. It was a God-given talent to me.
It's a God-given talent.
So they're doing Q-tip pointillism.
She loves to share with her students.
They're basically just making dots to fill up an artwork.
Johnson worked 6 years total as a teacher, and out of those 3 right here at Decatur Middle.
So I love children in general.
And the feeling is mutual.
I love Ms. Johnson. Ms. Johnson is the best teacher. This is the best period.
One of her students, Anna Hampton, believes art is her life.
When I'm at home, I don't want to do nothing else but draw or paint. It's the creativity that comes to your mind and you just start drawing stuff. And even if you just draw something, you add something else to it.
And for McKenya Dunnigan, art is what she's done all her life.
I've been doing art since I was in probably pre-K, and I've gotten an art award 3 times.
Teaching goes beyond the classroom. Her principal, Brad Newton, has seen it firsthand.
Not only does she do a good job as a teacher here in the classroom, but she also is a sponsor for one of our mentorship groups here for our young ladies.
I have a group called Leading Ladies, and I just help them with basic life skills.
Johnson believes it's her duty to inspire the next generation of artists.
I mean, I just feel like children are the next ones to be adults, so if we teach them and pour into them kind and love, then they'll be able to give it back to us one day.
Well, congratulations, Mrs. Johnson. Check out the moment she was nominated as top teacher and nominate one at fox54.com. Space Camp hosts a unique group of students. More than 160 kids from different states and countries are reaching for the stars, and they're not allowing their disabilities to stop them. Our Jasmine Bird introduces us to them.
Space Camp for interested visually impaired students is what Ruby Houston, all the way from Sydney, Australia, calls.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience to meet so many great people and to have such an accessible program, just tailored to blind people, because you don't find that everywhere.
Next, we headed to Houston's 3-hour mission, where she was definitely up for the challenge.
I'll be on a wire. I'll be fixing the satellite. Before, I was using headphones and reading out instructions for people to follow. And also I was one of the scientists, so we did some experiments, and that was really fun.
Coordinator Dan Oates believes one of the greatest benefits this camp provides is the social aspect.
We have a lot of children who come from public or private school who aren't around their visually impaired and blind peers. They go through the entire year as maybe the only child in their school or their district, and when they come here, they get to experience what life is like and learning with their peers, and it has a tremendous impact on them.
Which do you see in the summer? Ryan?
The summer triangle.
The summer triangle. Good work.
Although Houston may be physically blind, that's not stopping this show because she can already see into her promising future ahead.
I think this has taught me that more, that I'm capable of doing whatever I want to do.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54.
American astronauts blasted off to live in space aboard Skylab, America's first space station. It launched 50 years ago. Our Jasmine Bird takes us to meet two of them at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center.
2 of 9 NASA astronauts who served aboard Skylab, which is America's first space station, have made their way to the Rocket City, celebrating 50 years since the Skylab program. They take us down memory lane.
Well, I remember the first time I came to Huntsville, I think it was 1966 or 67. There was only one motel in town, and we all three had to stay in that one room. And it sure has expanded since that time.
Colonel Jack Luzma explained the purpose of Skylab.
We're going to build this International Space Station. We had that as a vision for the future. And we really didn't know how to build one based on what we knew of just living in those capsules. So Skylab provided the information required to build that International Space Station that's up there now.
And this experience taught them quite a bit.
In terms of how you operate and live on a daily basis, eat, sleep, and waste and so forth. And how do you keep clean, how do you sleep, and how do you do all of your experimental work and so forth. We learned how to do that in Skylab so that we could invent and equip and build, design the International Space Station we have up there today.
Next, we headed into the Skylab Space Station Trainer, where the astronauts recalled the fun memories of what it was like to actually be in space.
My recollections are mostly about the amazing freedom of movement that you have in weightlessness, and the reminder that no human being had a larger volume in which to play than we did in Skylab.
It brought back probably some of the best stories that we've ever thought of.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Sore throat, cough, congestion, runny nose, body aches, potentially fever.
Sounds like cold symptoms, or maybe flu symptoms, or could it be COVID?
The symptoms are very much the same.
However, for most respiratory viruses,
there are not tests that are available, but with COVID-19 and flu, there are tests that are available.
As well as RSV.
So you can test yourself for flu or for COVID in your home, if you can find the tests, or in a physician's office or a provider's office.
And for some wondering just if the flu shot is the right choice for you.
So the flu vaccine is focused on 4 strains of the flu. And as long as the strains of the flu that are in the flu vaccine match up to what is in circulation, then they can have protection against illness at all, but also against more serious illness, much like the COVID-19 vaccine.
And for others wondering, when is the right time to get your flu shot?
Flu shots recommended sometime around September or October.
Which gives you protection through the traditional season.
It usually peaks in Alabama in midwinter, so December, January.
Also, most importantly, who's eligible for the flu shot?
So the flu vaccine is available. It's being shipped out, and people can go and get that at the same time as their COVID-19 vaccine. And again, it's recommended and available for anyone 6 months and up, with the highest priority being on younger children and older adults and those with underlying medical conditions.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Well, it can't be too rough of a day when you get to spend it with dogs dressed in Halloween costumes. That's what I got to do today while at the Huntsville Botanical Gardens' first ever Pooches and Pupkins event. Let's take a look.
As you say hello to the fall season, you'll often see pumpkins. But how often can you say you've seen a pupkin?
I tried to put a witch's hat on her once and she didn't like it, but she really likes her pumpkin costume.
Here at the Huntsville Botanical Garden, dog parents and their precious pups gathered to take part in the first ever Pooches and Pupkins event, where they all were vying for the Best Costume Award.
We came out for the puppy parade. This is Charlie. He sometimes goes by Chuck or Chucky, so we dressed him up as Chucky to kind of play on his name.
And let's be for real, when was the last time you saw so much possumness in one place? Dogs dressed as flowers, butterflies, cats. Wait, cats? And astronaut Barbie?
We figured since we're in Rocket City, we might as well dress up as astronaut Barbie so she can appeal to as many people as possible since we're about a mile from the Space Center. So.
For Rue, the costume queen, these contests are nothing new.
Rue's been doing costume contests since she was a puppy, so she's probably been in at least 15, if not more. So we did this a lot in San Diego before we moved here.
Her dog parents, Scott and Stacy Kelly, say she is the sweetest, calmest dog, and
makes everyone happy.
When we think of dogs, there is no question they're a part of the family.
He is kind of my best friend. I work from home, and so this is my little, I always joke that he's my little coworker. So we spend a lot of the day together, and he's a good boy. He's very sweet.
She is very supportive of me. She always loves to come and give me cuddles, and that's my favorite part.
And although there was only one contest winner today, Rue the astronaut Barbie, all the pups and parents walk or trot away knowing
she means a lot to me.
It's a good bonding experience.
They're forever friends.
Thank you, Sedona. That was so sweet. Well, that's all for this edition of the Weekend Review, but don't forget, news doesn't stop at the weekends. Be sure to have your Fox 54 mobile app to get the latest headlines delivered to you wherever you go. Also, stick with the Fox 54 Plus app to see encore presentations of this show and high school football highlights from B2EDI's First Down Friday night, along with Crimson Tide analysis from the head coach himself on Saban Show. These and so much more available throughout the week. Get your Fox 54 Plus on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV devices. For everyone at Fox 54 News, I'm Kenesha Dees. Have a great weekend.